She's a homemaker, don't you know? She'll teach you how to cook and sew, and how to wield a hammer. It's the June the Homemaker Show.
Hello and welcome to the June the Homemaker Show. Today on June the Homemaker, we are going to be making harvest mooncake. Now this is a recipe that I got from Nathan G.H. Schlivovitz's mother ages ago, but it is super delicious and I'm kind of anxious for fall this year, so I'm going to make it today because I'm going to visit someone and I want to bring them a harvest mooncake. Him, her. It's a secret. Also today on June the Homemaker, I am in my house by myself, which means that I might be a little bit crazier than normal because nobody's watching. Also, I had 2 large cups of coffee, and I pretty much never drink caffeinated coffee. I always drink decaf, so I do not know where this recipe came from, okay? There are a couple harvest mooncake recipes online, but they are not the same as this recipe, and I don't even have the original copy of the recipe because I typed it into Mom the Homemaker's computer, and then I threw out the original because I figured I didn't need it. And then I couldn't find it when I went looking for today. And then I had to look on her computer, and I'm just lucky I remembered it was on her computer. Just a mess. I'm a mess, everyone. So, you are supposed to cream cheese at the cops! You're supposed to cream a ½ cup of butter and a cup of sugar. And there's a cup of sugar. Cream. Which pretty much just means grab a mixer and mix it up. Okay, then we're going to blend in the eggs, beating well. So I'm going to add the eggs one at a time, just because that's how I roll. I suppose you could put in... Do you know what that was, everyone? That's the oven telling me that it's preheated. Because who remembered to preheat the oven at home by yourself? This homemaker. This one right here. Whenever I'm adding eggs to anything, I always like to gradually work up to top speed with my mixer. Because if you get the eggs in there all fluffy, then the whole thing will be fluffier. Someday somebody's going to have to teach me to do the one-handed crack. I basically just broke that, and by some miracle none of the eggshells ended up in there. Who can teach me to do the one-handed crack? If you can do the one-handed crack, it sounds like a drug, doesn't it? If you can crack an egg with one hand, then you should make a response video and post it as a response to this video showing me how to crack an egg with one hand. Because I really want to learn. I just have never had the occasion to. Okay, this is super fluffy now. See how fluffy? Check that out. Alternately add sifted dry ingredients and pumpkin. So what I'm going to do is put the dry ingredients in this bowl. 1 3/4 cups of flour. And now we get to this spicy spices, as the Swedish chef would say. Wouldn't he say, spicy spicy? God, I love the Muppets. Teaspoon of cinnamon, a ½ teaspoon of salt, a ½ teaspoon of nutmeg, a ½ teaspoon of ground cloves, a ¼ teaspoon of ground ginger, and that's it. So now I'm going to take a whisk. Generally when I have a bunch of dry ingredients in a bowl and I need to mix them up, I don't typically sift them. Please don't hate me, everyone. I usually just take a whisk and whisk them up until they're all whisked together. But it's not as much of a pain as using a sifter. I think using a sifter is a giant pain and I hate doing it. God, why do I always hide the back? Pumpkin. Well, I didn't get pumpkin, I got pumpkin pie mix, so we're gonna hope that this is okay. But maybe it'll just be a little bit pumpkin-ier. It's just gonna be a really intense harvest experience for everyone. And we're supposed to have 3/4 of a cup of pumpkin. Now, I have heard from a couple of people that canned pumpkin is better to use than fresh pumpkin because fresh pumpkin behaves oddly. I really want to learn how to make fresh pumpkin be a thing that works, but I haven't yet, so we're just going to go with this for now. We're supposed to alternately add the sifted dry ingredients and the pumpkin. So first I'm going to put in some dry ingredients. Especially whenever you're adding dry ingredients, go with a lower speed than you think you need, just because otherwise it'll be like, poof, and then the stuff will poof everywhere. There goes some pumpkin pie mix. And when the pumpkin or the pumpkin pie mix goes in here, it becomes the best orangey color ever. Like, I can't wait to show you guys the color. Okay, so that was the rest of the dry ingredients. Here's the rest of the pumpkin pie mix. Okay, so here is the color. Oh my god, don't you love it? It's so orange and amazing and it makes me really happy. I don't really know what that sound was. Too much coffee. I'm supposed to add in 3/4 cup of chocolate morsels. That's probably, whoa, a lot more than I intended. Chocolatey is never bad, right? You're gonna need 3/4 cup of nuts. Half a cup of it is gonna go in the bread, and then the other 1/4 cup is gonna go on top of the loaf as like a decorative thing. I use walnuts because it suggests walnuts. I suppose you could try it with other stuff. I could see this also working with pecans, but you know, it's, It's always okay to sample just to make sure everything is okay. Oh my god, I love my life. The instructions say to pour this into a 9x5 loaf pan. This is the loaf pan I'm using. Oh, and by the way, I remembered to grease the pan. I already greased it, YouTube. So eat that. No, really eat it. Cook this and eat it because it's delicious. I like to do a little bit of a thing to like make a texture on the top. And then we put a bunch of nuts on the top for decoration. June the Homemaker, decorator for hire. So now we're going to put this in the oven, and here's the kicker. It cooks in the oven for 1 hour and 15 minutes, which seems like a really long time. Now this isn't something that you're going to just want to throw in the oven if you're running late, but it is a really good thing to cook if you're cooking a lot of things at once, or if you're having a dinner party, then you can put this in the oven when you're serving dinner, and then it comes right out of the oven and onto the table for dessert. Since that's cooking in a glass pan, I'm going to put it in there for 60, check it at 60, and then probably just add time on from there until it's done. Now, we're going to make the icing. Yes, there's icing that goes with this. If you're serving the loaf on a platter, take it right out of the pan, put it on a platter, and then ice it so that it's lovely and attractive for that. Because if you don't put the icing on right away, then the icing doesn't like, I don't know, do a thing that's cool. The icing is super easy because it's basically just spices, powdered sugar, and milk. Done. It says half cup of sifted powdered sugar. You already know how I feel about sifting. Boom. Or bam, as it were. 1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg. That means shake in some nutmeg, as far as I'm concerned. 1/8 of a teaspoon of cinnamon. Again, that means shake in some cinnamon. When you get down past 1/4 of a teaspoon, I just stop paying attention. It says 2 tablespoons of cream. I'm gonna go with 2 tablespoons of milk. Now, if you've watched the show before, you know that that basically means 1.5 blurps, so I'm just gonna blurp. Even though I'm not really concerned about using cream, I am going to use 2% and not skim. Blurp, blurp. So now we are going to wait for that to be out of the oven. I'm going to do some cleaning and some laundry, and then we'll be back when the loaf is done for the icing part. It'll be really exciting, you guys. Okay, here it is. I gotta tell you, this smells kind of phenomenal. Ah, look at that. It didn't even really stick. Okay, so I found this super nice platter, so I think I'm going to try and put it on here. Alright, so first I'm going to turn it upside down onto this hot pot holder and probably burn my hand. Yep, definitely burned my finger. Oh, fabulous. Oh, my life is so great right now. I'm going to put this platter up like this, and then we're going to flip it again. Oh, and now it's on a platter. While that was baking, the spices kind of separated from the milk in here, so I'm just going to try and whisk this up a little bit, if this will go all the way over here. Yeah, well now I've covered the whole top in spicy icing. Fabuloso. So, this is a harvest moon cake. In fact, it's a spicy iced harvest moon cake. This is June the Homemaker. I have made you this harvest moon cake. All the possible love to all of you. Don't forget to make your video responses with the one-handed break. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter and be my friend on Facebook. You guys, we have over 50 subscribers now, and I know that doesn't seem like a big deal in like a time when people have like millions of subscribers, but it means a lot to me that you subscribe. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit like my video. This is June the Homemaker, this is the Harvest Moon Cake, and I'm signing off. Bye!